Hey, I'm Circle Strafe, and welcome to part 9 of the Dante's Inferno rundown. In today's episode, we're going to be covering pouches 5 to 7 of Circle 8. Let's head right in to catch up with our poets in pouch number 5. Pouch 5 of Circle 8 is very dark and filled with boiling pitch. It is the pouch of the barrators, the corrupt politicians. Dante compares the blackness to tar that is used to coat the seams of Venetian ships. He struggles to make out what's happening and steps forward to get a closer look. Virgil shouts for him to beware and tugs him back. Suddenly, a giant black-winged demon rushes out towards him. It is carrying a sinner on its shoulder. The demon throws the soul into the boiling pitch below and calls for other demons to keep the sinner in there as he heads off for more people to throw. The sinner bobs on the surface of the pitch, and a group of demons nearby force the soul to stay under the boiling liquid with long spiked prongs. Virgil hides Dante behind a rock so he can negotiate with the demons for safe passage across the pitch. He says to the frightened poet,
"Stay quiet and hidden for now. Do not draw their attention."
Fearless, Virgil steps out to meet the demons and is immediately flocked by a large group of them. They threaten Virgil with their prongs, but Virgil holds his ground. He yells,
"You think I have traveled here without divine assistance? Bring me MacLeod."
The demons suddenly drop their aggressive stance. MacLeod, translated as Evil Tail, is the leader of the demons. When he arrives, Virgil explains Dante's heavenly journey. MacLeod tells Dante to come out of his hiding place, and Dante is poked jokingly by some demons as he rushes to Virgil's side. The demon leader reprimands the other demons and pledges 10 of his number to helping the pair pass through to the next pouch. This is under the condition that their work is unhindered along the way. Unfortunately, he says that the bridge to pass beyond this point has collapsed, but says that the demons will help them reach an intact one a little bit further away. When referencing the broken bridge, he says that it fell in an earthquake exactly 1,266 years, 1 day and 5 hours before this point. He is subtly referencing the far-reaching effects of Christ's harrowing of hell. Dante has reservations about travelling with a pack of demons and pleads with his guide to leave them behind. Virgil scolds him in return, reminding Dante that the demons here exist merely to punish those trapped in the pitch, nothing more. Virgil accepts the assistance of the demons, and the group moves onwards. As they head to the next bridge, Dante starts to realise the necessity of his demonic companions. He examines the pitch and sometimes sees various limbs sticking out of it, with sinners trying to get relief to some of their body parts. The demons fly down constantly to poke them back in. Some of the souls weigh down the shallows of the pitch, mostly exposed, and whenever a demon comes close, they scurry back underneath the pitch in fear. Eventually, one sinner is too slow to react, and the demons pounce on him. They tug him by his hair and motion to tear him apart with their hooks and prongs. Dante asks Virgil if it is possible to speak to the sinner before that happens. Virgil steps forth and asks the soul his birthplace. The sinner reveals that he was a clergyman born in Navarre who accepted bribes whilst working for King Thibault. Virgil then watches as one of the demons slices into the soul, and he continues his interrogation by asking,
"Are there any Italians nearby?"
As the sinner tries to reply, the demons continue to tear at him. He manages to spurt out that he was recently near an Italian man. Virgil finally discerns his name, Fra Gomita. The soul pleads to be spared if he can trick 7 Italians to surface from the pitch. The demons are initially suspicious, but they agree to the terms. They release the soul from its torture, but instead of doing as he said, Fra Gomita dives back into the relative safety of the pitch, much to the anger of the demons. The demons begin to fight one another for letting the soul talk in the first place, and 2 of them fall into the pitch during the scuffle. Dante and Virgil sneak away, whilst the pair of creatures are being fished out by other demons. Whilst escaping, Dante becomes terrified that the demons may be very angry. Virgil concurs with his frightened partner and suggests they move quickly down a ridge into the next pouch. The demons, now free, begin chasing them. As the demons get closer and closer, Virgil snatches Dante up protectively like a mother and slides down the ridge quickly into the next pouch. The demons cannot follow, and they howl and cry on the border of pouches 5 and 6. They are restricted by God to remain only in their own pouch, and have failed in their chase. The two poets start to move through the 6th pouch, and they see souls wearing brightly gilded cloaks wandering around slowly and aimlessly. Their cloaks are, on the inside, lined with lead, making them heavy and torturous to wear. The appearance of these souls remind Dante of Benedictine monks in Cluny Abbey. Dante asks Virgil to look for someone recognisable or famous that he can talk to. The pair slow down to the pace of the sinners to make this easier. Two souls nearby overhear Dante's Tuscan accent and beckon the poets over to them. The sinners present themselves as jovial friars named Catalano and Loderingo. They are representatives of both Guelph and Ghibelline factions. They were brought into Florence to help keep the peace, but secretly provoked war and violence. One of the sinners explains the cloaks that they wear.
We are the hypocrites. We presented beliefs we did not truly hold. On the outside, our cloaks are golden and beautiful, but deep inside is its inner truth.
They ask Dante where he's from, noticing that he is alive by his throat moving whilst he talks. They also ask what he's doing in this pouch of hypocrites. Dante explains himself, and he is about to start talking down to them for their sins, but suddenly notices a giant soul crucified to the ground. Catalano explains to the poets that the man Dante is peering at is Caiaphas. Caiaphas was a Jewish priest, and the head of the council that recommended Jesus be killed, despite Caiaphas knowing that he was innocent. The soul has to bear the weight of all souls present walking over him for eternity. The same punishment is given to this man's father-in-law, Annas, who brought Jesus to the council in the first place, as well as other council members who condemned Jesus. Virgil stares at Caiaphas for a long while. He has not seen this type of punishment before. The last time he entered this deep into hell, Jesus had not yet been crucified. Virgil then turns and he asks the friars if there's any way to move on without re-stepping into the path of the demons in pouch 5. The friars point to a nearby ridge and say,
There are no intact bridges near here. You can continue forwards that way by climbing the broken bridge there.
Virgil scorns the demons for lying about there being a solid bridge to cross. The friars mock him, asking if he truly trusted the word of a demon in hell. Virgil is weightless, but Dante is not, so Virgil helps the living poet in his climb. He keeps a close watch for loose rocks that Dante might slip on or dislodge. Dante tells the reader how he would have given up if it was not for Virgil. The poets now look down on the 7th pouch and see a mass of serpents writhing within. In this pouch, Dante is witnessing the horrific punishment of the thieves. Naked sinners run around the pouch, chased by snakes. The snakes bind themselves around the sinner's hands and feet. After this, another snake appears and bites the bound soul. When the snake bites, its venom makes the soul ignite into flame and turn to ash. Moments later, the soul is reborn like a phoenix from those ashes, and the serpents attack again. When the sinners return, they are bewildered and confused, unable to comprehend what just happened to them. Dante witnesses a soul come back and asks him who he is. The sinner regains composure before answering Vanni Fucci from Pistoia. Dante recognizes the soul as a man of blood and anger. He wonders why this man doesn't suffer in the punishments of violence. Fucci says he stole holy relics from the Pistoia Cathedral. The sinner becomes ashamed that Dante has discovered his truth, saying that the discovery angers him more than his eternal punishment. In revenge, Fucci goes on to predict that the Black Guelphs will suffer a great defeat in Pistoia at the hands of the White Guelphs. Then Dante's beloved Whites will truly fall. In reality, victory in Pistoia drove the Blacks there to join up with the Blacks in Florence, empowering them. The battle in Pistoia was a precursor to Dante's exile. Fucci tells Dante to be full of grief. As he finishes, he blasphemes against God, losing all of Dante's remaining respect. Snakes coil around Fucci as if in response to his words, and the soul flees. In Fucci's place appears a centaur with writhing snakes for a tail. He asks the pair if they've seen Fucci. The human parts of this creature are tortured by a miniature dragon which sets its skin aflame. Virgil explains that this centaur doesn't reside with his kind in Circle 7 because he is Cacus, the centaur who stole cattle from Hercules. Virgil states that Hercules administered 100 blows against the thief, but Cacus was already dead by blow 10. 3 nude sinners walk by, and one of them shouts to the pair asking who they are. Dante doesn't immediately recognize them. One of them asks about someone named Chaffner, and a giant lizard with 6 legs suddenly appears. The lizard attacks one of the sinners named Agnello. It brutalizes Agnello's face with its massive jaws, and clamps down on him tightly with its legs. The lizard squeezes him so strongly that the two of them begin to meld together in a twisted, sickly way. Dante describes it like the blending of 2 colours of hot wax. The result is a man-snake abomination, neither fully snake nor fully man. A small creature appears to run up to one of the 2 remaining souls. It bites him on the belly button without him realising. The sinner and creature begin to stare at each other, transfixed. The man then yawns as if he's tired. In extraordinary graphic detail, the pair start to swap forms. The reptile disfigures and grows into a man, and the man becomes scaly and distorted, turning into a reptile. The newly erected soul turns to the final soul of the initial group and says that he wanted Buoso, as he names him, to run on all 4s like he did. As they are leaving, Dante recognises another sinner, the 5th such Florentine citizen in this pouch. Dante sarcastically insults Florence by saying how great it is that Florence is just as popular in hell as it is in the real world. He predicts that one day other cities like Prato will battle Florence for its riches, and it will be all too satisfying. Dante and Virgil move onwards to pouch number 8. That's it, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and all the feedback so far, it really helps to support the channel. Consider checking out the Patreon page if you want to support the channel further. If you're new to this series or new to this channel, click here to watch from episode 1, or click here to check out another series we're doing on mythical creatures. And we'll see you in the next video. Toodles!